Hello everyone. Yes, today is 12th of February 2019. Sorry, this is not, it's not 2018, it's actually 2019. Sorry about this. So we want to look at exactly what we have for today. I want to see if there's any good trades that you can actually trade for the day. And before I start, I need to mention there's a bonus here that is still running. It started last year and it will end of this month. So that will be 28th of February 2019. So if you are still interested in it, you need just to go to the main site, and then that option at the very top under the menus, you have an option called bonuses. You click there, then the very first one should be 200% bonus. So ensure you read all the terms and conditions, understand everything before you eventually click that button, get bonus. We want to see if there's any trade for the day. So we'll start off with the main pairs. We'll move from EURUSD, then go to GBPSD, then the next one is DJPY, then we'll move to SP500, and then we'll also move to gold, and then the last one should be Brent oil. We start off with EURUSD, which is here. I'm going to load a new chart on this from what we said yesterday. Want to see if the price is still moving our direction or we need to change anything. So on this chart, from the weekly point of view, this is daily. From the daily point of view, there's actually a level here which price went below. We have a support there. These are very good support. There's also another level here. If I pick this as a zone, you can now see that from the past we had a support, then we had a false break, a support. Yesterday's candle actually went below the same place which was a support previously. This is a sign that they are sellers. So we need to wait for price to retrace back to the same place it just went below before we can pick a sell. You're on this chart at the moment, you're looking forward to trade, you should know that the price is heading to the lower side. Therefore, just wait for a retracement back up, probably within that zone. Then you pick a sell. With that sell, expect price to go up to this place here. The chart we are looking at was actually a daily chart. It's not a weekly chart. If you draw the same line on the weekly, you'll notice that we have a support here. The same place was a resistance previously. A resistance, we went above it, a support, it went up, a support, and somehow price is now below it. This is a weekly chart, which means if the current week's candle can close below this zone, then you're downwards. But as it is from the weekly point of view, this is still not a very good trade. We want the current week's candle to close below, then the next week's candle should try coming back up, should retrace back to the same place so that we pick a sell. You can remember we took a sell from this point. We had a level there. We also had a level there. We mentioned that this was just a resistance. Price went down, a resistance, it went down, a resistance, down, resistance, down, a resistance, then there was that break, then there was a false break to the lower side, a support, we went below it, then there was this struggling below the same place we were buying and selling from. This was a sign that you're supposed to have sold from somewhere around within here. If you took that sell well and good, but assuming you didn't sell it, you can wait for the current week's candle to close below. Wait for this week's candle to close below this level here, there. Then if that is true by the end of this week, you should wait for a retracement that is next week before you pick a sell up to 1.0472. So at the moment, I recommend you remain flat. Just wait and see what happens on this one. Wait and see if the price can close below this zone here by the end of this week. If that is true, then we'll pick a sell. If that is not true, that it has closed above, then we are going to trade within this range by in the course of next week. So what this simply means is, assuming the price does not close below this place here, then come next week we expect price to remain within a range which should be within this place here. So we move to the next chart, which is GBPUSD. I'll upload it afresh. Also here there's something very interesting. I hope you can still remember we actually had a line here previously which was just a resistance. So as I was saying, we have a level. This is a very good weekly level, and we want price to just come back towards it before we can pick a buy from that point upwards. This is what we expect in the long run. We want price to retrace back to this support. So if you want to trade this one correctly, then you should be a long-term trader. Just expect price to come back to this level, pick a buy from that point, then expect it to move up, and the maximum we expect it to go is this level here. This is a monthly resistance. This is a very good monthly resistance, and therefore we don't want it to go above it. It should bounce from that point to the lower side. So we'll pick a buy, expect price to move up, then we'll pick a sell and expect price to move to the lower side, something like this. So we will only not look for a buy from this place here in case the price goes below. Assuming you wake up on Monday and then you find that the price actually closed below 1.2737, then that means we're supposed to look for a sell. We'll simply wait for a retracement back to that place before we pick a sell. So I want to mention why I first started by saying that this price should bounce from this point to the upper side. If you look at the same chart on the monthly chart, you look at the same chart from the monthly point of view, you'll notice that the previous month's candle was actually a continuation candle. It was a bullish candle here. Just look at this candle properly. This is a pin bar followed by an engulfing bullish candle. So should price come back to this place, which is 1.2737, then this is the correct place to pick a buy from. Buy it from this point, expect price to move up to this place here. And you check properly, this is the same place I was referring to on the weekly chart. We have a buy there up to the very top. So we move to the next chart, which is USDJPY. USDJPY, we are still standing on a buy. We bought it yesterday and we are still looking for a buy even now. Just a support. Then there was a false break, a support. It went up, it came back down. And this another support. So what you want to happen now is for price to proceed even higher, but should not go beyond this place here. This is a zone. It's a zone where price, anytime the price approaches either of these lines, it bounces back to the opposite direction. Like it came from this point, went up, bounced back down. It is now here, it is now bouncing back to the upper side. So this is a zone where we either buy or sell from, depending on how price approaches it. We want price to proceed higher, bounce from that point like that. Of course, the price cannot remain within that range. At one point, it has to break. So in case it breaks above it, then it means we are continuing upwards, and in case it breaks below it, we'll continue to the lower side. We want to move to the next symbol, which is SP500. Yeah, we took a buy yesterday, if you can remember. We mentioned that the reason we are buying was this. We had a support, a support, a support, a support, a support. Then there was a break to the lower side. Price came back up, retraced back, and we took a buy from this point. Then it continued up, came back down, and then we saw that this one here. This was like a pin bar pointing upper side. So we recommended this that you're supposed to have bought from somewhere there. You're supposed to have bought, let me mark where you're supposed to have bought from. You're supposed to have bought at the opening of the Friday's candles, which was this one. This was the Friday's candle. you're supposed to have bought there, expect price to move up, retrace back before we continue. So these are the three places we want to trade from. We'll buy from that point. We bought here. Previously we had picked a buy from this point. It went up, retraced, we took a buy. It goes up, we want it to retrace back so that we can pick a second buy, which should push price even higher to 2934.7, and that is at the very top here. So if you're on this chart at the moment and you want to trade it, assuming you didn't buy at this point, don't do anything. Just let the trade run, let the chart move up, wait for a break above 2813.0, then a retracement before you pick a buy towards 2934.9.7. We'll add an indicator to confirm that the trend is upwards, and that indicator is ADX, which is average directional movement index there. And I want to repeat something which I said yesterday on this one. I want to explain how this indicator works, how ADX works. So you'll notice that I've not changed anything. The parameters are still the same. We have a period 14. Then levels, I've only added this level, which is 25. So period is just the number of candles back to calculate. From this chart, look at it like this. We have the main line, which is this complete one. And then we have the dotted line. The first one is green, and then you have the red one, which is also dotted. How this works is this: anytime you have the main line above 25, it means there's a trend, but it does not show which trend is active. Then anytime you have the green one, dotted one, above the red dotted one, it means that there's an uptrend. So from this chart, from whatever we are having, when I drew this line, this red line onwards, you can see we have the main one above 25, which means there's an active trend, and then you have the green one here above the red one. So that means we have a trend, and that trend is an uptrend. So as long as this is true, that the complete line is above 25 and the green one is above the red one, then the trend is upward, which means in this case you're supposed to look for a buy. Expect price to be moving even higher. The best you should do is to wait and buy it there, and if you've bought already, just remain long. If you bought it here, also just remain long. Don't exit any trade of them, just expect price to be moving even higher. We move to the next chart, and that should be gold. This is what we had on gold yesterday. I hope you can still remember that the level here, which is on the lower end, gives a very good support, a support, a support, a support, a support. There's a break below, a resistance. It went down, a resistance. We saw that break up, price came down, went up, and we wanted to come back down so that we can pick a buy. So you ought to have bought this yesterday, just the same way we said. We mentioned that you're supposed to buy it. You're supposed to buy it from where the price is. This is just a very good support which has been broken. Price has come back. A resistance which has been broken. Price retraced back, and you're supposed to buy it from that point to the upper side towards 1358.94. If you're on this side and don't trade it, just look for a buy. Expect price to move up to the highest point, which is here. So another reason I'm recommending a buy on this is because of the weekly candle. Look at it like this. From the weekly, the previous week's candle, which is this one, this was actually a pin bar, an inside pin bar, bullish inside pin bar. So what it should do, it should push price even higher to the very top towards this is a monthly resistance. A resistance, price went down, you saw a resistance, it went down, a resistance, it went down, a resistance, down, then it should come back the same resistance before you look for a sell. So assuming you want to trade this, either you look for a buy now or you wait and sell at the very top when the price is at the peak, we should be here. So that should be clear that we recommended that you place a pending buy limit here. I can still remember, have your stop loss there, and then your take profit should be within this zone here. If you placed the same way I said, then you're supposed to be in money as you speak and expect price to move even higher up to this resistance. We move to the next chart, which is Brent oil. And Brent oil, I want to load it afresh. I want to just start with a new chart, and I'm going to explain why I'm having small lines here. Somebody's asking me how comes I'm having lines like this. Then they don't stand for a trend. What do they stand for? I want to explain that just now. Give me a second. So look at this chart like this from the daily point of view. Assuming I had an indicator, which is a trend indicator, I want to add envelopes. Period should be 52 or 14. Just a second. Period should be, let's use 14. 14 is better. So how this works is this, that anytime we have candles closing below this trend line, we expect price to proceed to the lower side. And anytime we have candles closing above this indicator, we expect price to move even higher. So as you can see from this point here, where this line, this was 2018 1009, you can see the price went down, then that move was actually a retracement. Then it proceeded down, then there was a retracement, then it proceeded down, then we saw a retracement, it proceeded down, then we saw a retracement, it proceeded down, then for the first time there was a bigger retracement compared to the others, like that. Then for the second time now we are having even a bigger one. So what this means is that this trend which we had dominating from this point to this point actually may be coming to an end. So you need to find a level which should be here, find a level here, and expect price to clearly ascend above it. Then you should trace back before you pick a buy. This is the only thing that will confirm that the trend to the lower side has ended. Should price go above this level clearly, then wait for a retracement, and if it fails to close again below 62.79, then that will be a confirmation that this downtrend is ended, and therefore you're supposed to look for a buy. There are levels here. We have a level here where you want price to bounce from. Price may likely bounce from that point maybe, and if price breaks above it, then just a retracement will mean you're buying. We also have a level at that point, and then we also have a level at the very top. So all these are places you could trade from. Maybe you want to pick a buy from that point, you want to buy from that point, then you may also want to buy from that point, and then you may also buy if price retraces back, something like this. So basically this will just be like a V formation from that point to the lower side, and this is the opposite side of the V. So I hope that is now making some sense, that we have a level here. We've not confirmed that this trend is ending, so we want to confirm that we want price to go above 62.79, retrace back before we can pick a buy towards the upper side, retrace before we pick a buy up, then like that before we see a move even higher to 85.92. So these are the levels we want price to bounce from. Either it should bounce from the very top one, 82.91, or 79.56, or 70.82, or it should break above 62.79. So that should bring us to the end of today's overview. We've looked at just everything we needed to check. We have Euro USD, where we are waiting for the current week's candle to close below 1.1286 so that we can pick a sell that is next week. Then we've also looked at GBP USD, where we want price to come back up to this support 1.2698 so that we can pick a buy. USDJP, where we are still buying, we expect price to proceed even upwards. Then we also have SP500, where we took a buy yesterday, we are still holding. Gold, we took a buy from within this zone. We expect price to proceed even higher to 1358.94. Then Brent oil, we don't see any clear signal, but we expect price to move upwards ultimately. So thank you very much. See you again tomorrow at the same time.